When I hurt, you hurt. That's something else to strike me, right? When I hurt, you hurt. So if Peter, let's look at Peter and Tammy. If Peter is hurting, why should Tammy hurt too? Shouldn't Tammy be healed? Shouldn't Tammy not hurt? Because if Tammy is not hurt, then she's able to fix Peter, right? So let's just examine it. If Peter has depression and he's hurting, just because Peter has depression, should he pass on his depression to Tammy? She's not depressed. She may have a good life going on, whatever like that. She may not have those problems. But why should Tammy be depressed the same way Peter is depressed? Because if Tammy is depressed and Peter is depressed, who heals Peter? Who heals Tammy? See, somebody has to not be depressed. So when Peter is hurt, Tammy should not be hurt as well. Tammy should be able to provide the medicine to be able to heal Peter. But if she's also hurt, then there's no medicine for each other. So that's a trauma situation. That may be what they call a trauma bonding. You hurt, I hurt, I'm hurt. We love each other. So that means it's two people accepting being hurt. They don't want to be healed. Right? So there's no heal and hurt bond. There's just a hurt bond. He said, if I'm in need, we both have each other's back. But none of this works if the finances are not right. Okay, let's go back. If I'm in need, we both have each other's backs. All right. So if Peter's in need, right, is Peter able to solve his own problems? Right? Because having each other's back pretty much means that what? It means that somebody has a problem and you need to go get another person in order to be able to help you with that problem. That's having somebody's back. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So when we look at Peter as the man, and he's going to trying to figure out if he's fit for marriage or a lasting union, shouldn't he ask himself, do I have the ability to solve my own problems? Can I solve problems without going to get Tammy? Can Tammy solve problems without going to get Peter? Do individuals have problem solving and critical thinking skills that they can remedy a situation without alarming another person or having to go get another person? Right? Do they have those skills? Because you need problem solving skills in a lasting union, I'm thinking, or in a marriage. Somebody has to know how to solve problems. So just say Peter and Tammy's in a house together and there's a problem in the house. The problem is the sink is broken. Let's do something simple. The sink is broken, right? Does Peter have the ability to fix the sink? Or does Peter need to go get Tammy every time the sink is broken? So every time there's a problem in the house, does Peter need to go get Tammy? Or does Tammy need to go get Peter? Or can people solve their own problems is what we need to be able to look at as well. All right. So he says, but none of this works if the finances are not right. You must be financially able to take on But none of this works if the finances are not right. You must be financially able to take on the everyday necessities of life. Okay, let's look at that. That's important, right? A lot of people feel in a lasting union or in a marriage, finances are very, very, very important. I can agree with that. You can agree with that listening to this, right? Finances. Some people say like finances ain't really that important, okay? But you need some sort of finances probably, right? So let's just look at what they're talking about. What he's talking about. He's talking about finances. So we look at Peter and Tammy again. What are their finances? Who works for a 9 to 5 and who works for their own empire. Let's look at that again. Who works for a 9 to 5? A 9 to 5 is an individual who works, gives his time and energy to be able to expand another person's empire. So if you have a 9 to 5, just say I worked at the Apple company, right? I'm looking at Apple, and they baggage up apples and they pick apples out the garden and they sell it to consumers around the world. And just say I work a 9 to 5. That means I go to work for a time period that another person gives me. So that person is saying like, hey, I only need you to work 5 hours today. So I only get to work 5 hours. And I'm going to pay you this amount of much money, right? So they set my price for me. They set my value, my currency value, and they set the time that I can actually do the labor in order to be able to fuel the empire that they created for themselves and their children. That's a 9 to 5. Now you will have a person who has their own empire. Who is the king of their own empire? Who's the queen of their own empire? Right? We have to look at that. And you have to figure out how those finances can blend in together to take care of the everyday necessities of life. Now, should Peter be able to show that's able to take care of his own self before he gets into a marriage or a lasting union? Should Tammy be able to look in his life and see, be like, you know what? Can you take care of yourself? Do you have your own castle? Do you have your own car? Do you work for somebody, or do you have your own empire? How are you with your finances? Can I see your finances? Can I see how you've been able to handle things financially just for yourself? Do you have any financial difficulties? Do you have any problems with managing your finances? Are you a gambler? Are you a saver? What is it? Tammy should be able to look at that. Peter should be able to do the same thing to Tammy. He should be able to look at, because say if Peter's a provider, right? Say Peter makes a lot of money and he's giving Tammy money to take care of the house or whatever it is, the necessities that they go through of life every day. Shouldn't he know if she's able to manage money? Shouldn't he know if she's a saver or spender? Should he know how she's able to manage the money that she already created for herself before he even met her? He should be able to look into her life and be like, what have you done with your money? Before I give you any of my money, what have you done with the money you created for your own self? Can I see that? Do you have your own castle? Do you have your own car, vehicle? Do you work for somebody, or do you have your own empire? Things like that. You should ask those type of questions. You should be actually able to see what each individual's money management skills are for their individual selves, because they are going to take that behavior, I'm thinking, right, into the union. It's not going to change overnight. Somebody who has good managing skills is not going to get into marriage and turn into have bad managing skills overnight. It could happen over time. Or somebody who has good management skills, or bad management skills, and it turns into good management skills overnight, probably, right? It's not going to happen. You're going to have a certain type of consistent behavior from both individuals before they even met each other. So maybe you should ask that.